Hey everyone, Daniel from Twin Bytes with another tutorial for you. This time I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough on WordPress, and a lot of websites are created using WordPress now, and you may have heard of some other type of platforms such as Wix. They advertise a lot, but they can cost a fair bit to get going on those kind of platforms, where with your own hosting company that you're already with, you can easily add WordPress. If they don't have that ability where you can just flick a switch and turn it on, if it's not already on, you can also install it, but we're not going to go through installing WordPress in this video. We're going to show you when it's already installed and how to go in and what some of the features are and where to find them all. So I've got a website here that I've already done for somebody that's just real basic stuff, that we just have a few pages here. We've got a home page and another page with some content. We've got a contact us page, and then you can have a blog as well, which we don't really have anything on at this time. So I'm going to show you how you can modify this. So let's go in here. First of all, if you put a slash and type in wp-admin and just press enter, it should take you to a page like this where you can then enter in your username and password and then hit login. So I've just logged in here, and your homepage might look a little bit different than my homepage here. This is showing the Bluehost login because this is where it's hosted through. And this is the dashboard that you may see when you first log in. And depending on what type of add-ons you have, you may see different things here. They can all be customized. You can even see here it says drag boxes here, so you could move stuff around. So looking down on the left side here is where you're going to see all the options that we're going to be going through. Up at the very top, there's the name of your website, and then there's visit website. So you could click on that and it takes you to the website. You can hit the back button to go back. There's also a new button here. You can create a new post right from here if you wanted to do some blogs, adding new media, creating a new page, or creating a new user. But all this stuff can be accessed through here. There's also caching here to purge and cache, control the cache settings, which helps with how the website is displaying information. So if things aren't refreshing properly, then you might want to look at the cache settings and purge it. So there's updates here if we move on down, and this shows what version your WordPress is on, and if there's any updates available, then there would be a link here to say to upgrade WordPress to the latest version. In this case, it's up to date. All the plugins are up to date, and the themes. So it's important to try and keep all these things up to date for your own security. Jetpack is an add-on, so we're not going to go into that. There's also WordFence, which is a good security tool that I recommend, and it's another plugin as well, so we're not going to get into the details on that. If we look at posts, this is where you can go in to add a new post, and it basically add a post to your blog. So you would type in your title and a little bit of information in your article that you'd like to put. You can also hit the plus sign here and choose from images, headings, a gallery, putting in a list. You can even go to browse all, and it shows you all the different kind of things that you could insert into a blog post. So there's quite a bit here. Right now I've got a WordFence installation here that's not complete. It's reminding me, so we're going to just hit remind me later, so that gets out of the way. So we can see the links at the top here. Now we can go to publish. And it reminds me again, the visibility will be for the public to see, and it's going to publish it immediately. If you want, you can click in there and choose a date and time for when you want that to be released, so it won't be right away. And other suggested tags, if you wanted to add a tag to it. It's kind of like keywords for your SEO. And you can also assign a category if you were to use categories. You can add new categories, and as you start doing more articles, you can categorize them. So we're going to go ahead and just hit publish. It says it's publishing, and then it says welcome is now live. That's because that's the title. So whatever the title is now live. What's next? You can post address. You can copy that to forward it to anyone if you want to, but we'll go to just view the post. And now when we're looking at the blog here, we can actually see the post here, and it says the date when it was done, who it was that made the post, what category it has, and you can go to edit it. So it gives us the edit option because I'm signed in right now. Now that I'm signed out, you can see here it just shows the date, who made the post, and what category. There is no edit button because we're not signed in. Here it's cut off all the information, so you can hit read more. Then it takes you to the full post page where you can read the entire article. From here you can go up to new and make another post if you want to. We're going to go back into our dashboard by just hovering over the name of the site and then go to dashboard. So if we look at posts, here's our post. We can edit it, quick edit, we can trash it, we can view it the way everyone else views it. We can go into edit. This is where you can make changes to the article if you wanted to. Then there's the update button here to update it, and then a picture of your logo to go back to view the post. So this is where you can also go to add a new post. Here you can control the categories and create a new category, slug, which is the URL friendly version of the name. If you have parent categories to the existing category that you're going to create, and a description of that category. So you can set up all the categories here ahead of time how you want to categorize your posts. And then the tags, you can also set those up in advance so that they're ready to simply select the tag and select the category, because you will already have them created here. You can see here that I don't have any tags created at this time. Same with the categories. I only have one, which is here by default, and it's called uncategorized. Moving on down to media, you can click on media, but you don't have to. That just expands going down instead of out to the side like it was doing. So here you've got your library, and you can add new media. You can also add new media right from here. And here's the existing media, so if we were to click on anything, there's a little bit of information to the right where you can set alternative text, the title of it, any caption, description, and you can even delete permanently if you want to get that out of the website and just make sure that it's not chewing up space in your library. So here, if you go to add, then you could go click select files. Then you can click on a picture and choose that, and you can open it to insert it in here. You can also just simply drag and drop any pictures here as well. And it's not just pictures, you can have documents or PDF files. So if you had some kind of a document that you wanted people to be able to download, you could upload a PDF file here and link to that in one of your pages or posts. So pages is what we're going to look at next. There's all pages and add a new page. If we click on pages, it actually defaults to showing all pages, and you can see all the pages that we have, which should be familiar to you here now. We had our home page, we also had our upholstery page, and then there's a contact us page, and we had a blog. This also comes with a privacy policy, but we don't have that displayed through the site right now. That's just something that was coming with the theme when it was created, and you can edit them just like any other page here. You would simply, as you hover over them, you'll see the edit button appear. And once that's up, you can go through the pictures, selecting them, inserting new pictures. You can change the text just clicking into it, and you can highlight a portion of the text to bold it or do any other kind of formatting to it. You can create a link, so that will link to another website or any other type of media that you have in your media page library that we just looked at earlier. If we just go back to the media for a moment and highlight one of these things, you'll see the file URL. So you would basically just highlight all this text here, and then you can copy it, and when you go back, we go back to editing the page, highlight a certain amount of text, hit the link button, and now you can just paste that right in there. So anytime that they click on that, we can hit enter or press here. So now it's a link that's available that somebody could click on that and it would take them to that media or picture in that case. There's code that you can enter too. So we got a Google map showing here, and it's quite simple. When you go into here, we're using blocks a lot in WordPress, so you would click on that and you would look for HTML. So you just type in HTML and you can click on custom HTML, and it opens up a little block here that says write HTML. So you could type in your HTML code. You could find it online what the code is. In this case, we got our code from Google Maps and copied and pasted it in there. There's also a bit of text, so we would just put in a plain text block. When you're done making all the changes, you can hit update. But in this case, I don't want to accept these changes that I made. So I'm just going to go back here to view pages, and it confirms that if I leave here, any information that I've entered may be lost, and it's not going to save it, and that's good. I don't want to save it. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the page, and it'll leave things as it was. If you want to have a look at this page, you can click view, and it takes you right to the page and shows you what it looks like if somebody else was looking at it. It also tells you over here the site status is live, so anyone looking at this is going to see it right now. So everything is done in real time unless you don't publish it. Let's go up here back to the dashboard. Actually, let's go back. If we're on a particular page here like this and we want to edit it, we can click edit page, and it takes us straight back to the section here for doing the edits that we were looking at earlier. I'm going to close this message that's for something else that's in the way, and again, you could make your changes and hit update. So those are the pages here, and you can add a new page and just go through all the same. If we go to add, you can put the title of the page and start writing your content by adding blocks and choosing what type of content is going to go in here. A picture, a list, custom HTML. You could type in text. If you just wanted to put plain text, you could do a quote, or you could have classic text, and just start typing in what you want to type. And then there's all your controls here for bold, italic, and how you want to justify it, and adding links and that sort of thing. If you wanted to do some changes, for example, I'm going to say test and test. We don't want to publish this, but we want to save what we got. There's a saved draft here. So I'm going to hit save, and then I'm going to go back out of here. There's our test, and it's set up as a draft. So this isn't visible on the site. You can see there's a link here for preview. If we go on one of these other ones that are live, it says view. This says view. You can see the privacy policy also says preview because it's not live on the site. So if we're not going to use that, we can hit trash. Here, the test, I don't want to use that. I'm going to hit trash. So it's gone from here. But it's still in the computer, so if you were to go and add this again, you won't be able to use the same name. Because what you got to do is go over here to trash, and you'll see it's right here. So you can restore it if you wanted to, or delete permanently. Now it's gone, so we can go back to all, and then you can see all the pages here again with no trash. So we could then add a page with that same name now. Going down to comments, when you have blog posts, if you have comments enabled, which it is by default, you can manage and monitor the comments here. So you'd be able to approve. You can see if there's some pending to be approved and which ones are approved, which ones might be triggered as spam, and which ones have been deleted or in the trash. This is a brand new site. We don't have any comments on here yet, but this is where you'd be able to come in and see the comments, read them, and then select something and approve it or disapprove. Under the appearance, there's a lot of things that can be done, and these will also change with the theme that you have, which is what we're going to look at as well. The plugins also gives you all kinds of features and can create links on here like the Jetpack and the word fence. That's because they're in the plugins. So if we look at the plugins real quick first, you'll see there's the Jetpack, there's the Bluehost, the hosting company, there's the word fence that was added, and then there's another thing for forms here so that you can create custom forms. So it's not activated right now. It is there to delete, but if it was activated, it would say deactivate like these ones do here. So this isn't even being used, and it came with the WordPress installation. So you could delete that if you're not going to use it. And it's a good idea to also delete or deactivate especially and delete any plugins that you don't use. We might want to use this contact form to make it easier for people to contact you on the website. If they're using webmail for email, then they're going to want to have some kind of form that they can fill out. But in this tutorial, we're just doing a quick overview, and this is already going into a long enough video, so we don't want to get into how to use all the different plugins. Just looking at what comes with WordPress. So if we go to the appearance, there's our themes, and you can see maybe several themes on yours as to what you're using currently. It should say active in which one it is, and there's a customize button. There's ones that you may have had in the past, and every year they come out with a new one, so they would have 2023, next year you're going to see 2024. Here you can go to add a new theme. So if you're looking for something, it's trying to find some theme that will allow you to do the things that are important to you. So you can look at what's popular, look at the latest ones, you can look at block type themes, any favorites, and then there's premium ones that you've got to pay for. And most of the free ones have a premium upgrade that you can pay for and get other features. Here you can go to feature filter, which I find is very important. So you can look at, if you want to see the type of business that you're in, then you can choose from here, and it'll give you designs that are all based around that. The features as well, you might want something like you want to have a custom background, or custom colors may be very important, which I wanted to have so that we could choose what colors, and then a custom header so that you can put your logo on that the way you want. Even a custom logo, which normally you can throw your logo on there, so I wouldn't focus on that so much. But looking at the other features and seeing what is the most important thing to you, and then you can even see what type of layout. Maybe you want just a one-column layout, or maybe you're just wanting to get two-column layouts. You don't want one, you don't want 3 or 4. The 2-column, and you know, maybe that's pretty much it. So then you can go down to the bottom and apply filters, and it tells you there's 4 filters that we selected. We'll hit apply filters, and now it shows you all the different themes that are including those features. And you can see the one that I already have installed, it says it's installed because it meets those requirements. Here's some of the other ones that also allow us to do the things that we're looking for. So if you see something that maybe looks better, that you would like that type of style, then you can go through that. So if we look at something that's a bit different, this looks a little different with the little thing up there. Let's see what it looks like. You can hit preview instead of install. And now it gives you a preview of what your site might look like if you had this installed. But it's not using your site content, it's using their own content. So it's not very helpful looking at it this way. So we'd have to go to install. Now it says it's installed, and I'm going to X out of that. Then we want to go back to our own themes that we have installed. Here's the one here. Now we can go to live preview, and now we can see what our website will look like with this particular theme. So it's got this little thing up here like that, and it's fitting in our logo, and the name is getting cut off there. It doesn't quite work with that design, but you can see how the menu works. Hovering over, it's got color changes and your background colors and that sort of thing here. And I don't know what it did with the number here. It's kind of made things a bit weird, but here's all the different customization on this particular theme that we can do. So if we were looking at the header, for example, you can put in a phone number. Now we can see that there's a phone number showing right at the very top here. And now it shows an address location up there as well. So there's a bunch of things you can do here, and you can go around between things and change a bunch of different options. Let's see if we can do a background color here. We'll make it orange. And so we're looking at different sections in here, and it kept the changes that we did at the top, and it's keeping the background color. So you can really look at this before making it active. So you see at the top there's activate and publish. That means it's not active yet. Nobody else can see this but you. So you can play with this as much as you want. And if we go back out of here, it says here that the changes that you made will be lost. So we don't want to lose the changes maybe because we want to play with it more, but we don't want to activate it yet either. Well, we don't have much choice. You either got to activate it or lose it. So we're going to say OK and just lose the changes. You can always go back in here later and play around with it again. So if we go back into live preview, you can see here that it went back to its default settings. Let's X out of this, and then we'll click on the picture itself to bring up the information. It tells you a little bit about it. Down in the bottom right corner is the delete button if you want to delete it, and then over here in the center at the bottom is where you can activate it or look at the live preview again. I'm going to go ahead and hit delete on that and OK. It's now gone from here. It's a good idea to go into each one of these things and delete them as well if you're not going to be using them. These are ones that we were looking at previously, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that and click into this one here and delete this one as well. So we're only using this one theme. So because we only have one theme, this is how it looks. So you can go in to look at premium themes or WordPress.org themes, or you can upload something that you downloaded from some other website. We'll go into the WordPress themes, and it takes you back here where we were browsing earlier. And this is where you can then choose one that you want to preview or install and then play with the preview. So really, if you want to preview any one of these properly and really look at the customization, you're going to have to install it first, and then you can play with the previews. So choosing the right theme is the biggest, most important thing in my opinion. Whatever pages you've created, whatever posts you created, all the media you have, none of that's going to be affected. All your pages will still be there with your menu set up the way you had them, and the posts are still there. It's just that the way it's going to be laid out may look a little different, but all your information will be there, and you can easily switch back from one theme to another one if you decide that you really don't like that and you want to go back to the other one, you can simply activate that other theme. Customize gives you the ability to customize the theme that you have, and this is what we were just looking at with one of the other themes that we were considering. And when you click into each one, you'll see some of the options. So there's dark mode, white mode. You're not going to have the same settings for each theme that you choose. Here in the top header, you can choose if you want the email address to be active or not. I have turned on to deactivate the top header. If you want to turn that on, you can see what it looks like. It shows the email address up there at the top. I'm going to turn that back on, and it just bumps the whole page up a little bit and hides that. Don't forget to hit publish if you do want to accept any of these changes. It's going to remind you again, if you hit the X and back out of there, it tells you that the changes will be lost. So we'll cancel that and just keep going. So there's animations and all kinds of stuff in here which are all specific to the theme, so we're not going to go through all that. But you can look at things like the colors. You can choose your background color, for example. We want it to have a beige in this case. So trying to find the right color closest to what you want. You can use the primary main colors here, or choose from within here, clicking around. You can also use the slider to go up and down and choose the brightness controls of it. You can see the difference between the body background color and the article background color. And if you had the specific code for that color, you could copy that from somewhere and paste it in here. There's all kinds of other things that you can change the colors on, so you can play with that as well and know that you don't need to worry about what that's going to look like, because you can simply just X out of here and not accept any of the changes. There's widgets as well, and this is where you can choose where you want the widgets to go, if it's in the footer section, or you can have, like in this case, we've got like 4 different footer sections, and you've got inactive widgets that might have been used. But there's another way of looking at those as well, and that's under the themes customize. If we scroll down a bit, there's widgets, and then you have your sidebar widgets if you were to add anything there. You've got your footer widgets where you can add in some things here like Facebook, and then you can click in there and choose where it's going to be going to. That's the widgets. And the menus, you can see it should pick up the pages that you created, and if there's something added and it's not in the menu, you can go over here and select something and add it to the menu. You can go in here as well, and you can remove this from the menu. We can go back over here and add it back to the menu. You can change the order of it, and you can also have it in line where it's on the top part of the menu, or indent it and it becomes a sub menu. So upholstery would be under home, but we're not going to do that. You can actually have a submenu to the submenu as well, so you would be able to click through and each one is a submenu to the other. You also have the option here to auto add pages, so anytime you have a new page, it's going to automatically add it to the menu. It just will put it at the top level, so you'd have to go in here and move it around and indent it if you wanted that to be a submenu item to something. And the display location is set to primary by default, and you could change that. Some of these themes allow you to change the positioning and others don't, so again, that's part of the theme that you choose. We'll go and look at the header. We're going to leave the page because we don't want to save what we changed. And the header, you could kind of see that it took us into customizing and jumped us specifically to that header section on here. So if I scroll back up, then there's the arrow to go back And here's our main customization menu again. So this should be pretty obvious there that with that option, it's based on the type of theme that you have. The same with the background. There's uploading a theme, which we saw under themes, and theme file editor, which I don't recommend you touching unless you've been using WordPress a long time and you're comfortable with code, because you could really screw up the website if you type in something wrong and save it. So I wouldn't recommend going in there. The plugins, we looked at that before. Users, you can see the different users that are listed in here, and so you can add a user and change what permissions that they have. If you had somebody in here before that you don't want them to be in here anymore, you can click on that, and then you can actually, you don't even have to click, because that's for bulk actions. As you hover over it, you can go in to edit them, add two-factor authentication, which is really important, you should do, or anyone else that's on here aside from yourself, you'll be able to delete. So because I'm logged in as this one, I can go in and delete this account. But if you log in as this account and you don't want this guy in here anymore, there'll be a delete button under there that you can do. You can also change your password right here too. So I strongly recommend setting up 2FA, the two-factor authentication. If you don't know what that is, it's going to be too much to get into in this video, but it helps to lower the risk of your account getting hacked. There's tools which allow you to import, export, check your site health overall. Normally you wouldn't be going in here looking at anything, but it's a good idea if you wanted to export. That's one way of backing up, but there's other backup tools that we could use. Under the settings, there's a few things in here. The general is where you can choose your site title, and that's where it's going to display automatically when you choose a theme. If you had a tagline, you could put that in there too, and then depending on the theme again, if it enables showing the tagline, then it will display whatever you have typed in there. You also have your website address, which you don't want to change because this is the address you're using. You have your administrator email address, which you want to have as your correct address in here. It may have put something else by default, but you can change that, and then it's going to want to send an email to you to confirm changing your email address. There's all kinds of other stuff to do with posts and members, and what role it is if somebody subscribes to looking at your posts. You can change your language and time zone, the date format, how you want things to look. Under writing, there's a couple things in here. You don't really want to change any of that. Reading, you can change what is your home page. If you click in the drop down menu, you can click which one would be used as your home page, and then which page is going to be used for writing articles or blogs. You can also control how many blog pages show at once, and also the syndication feed shows the most recent. So we have those defaulted to 10. For each post in a feed, you can include the full text or just an excerpt, and search engine visibility. If you're just playing around with this and don't want the search engine to find it, you could check that so it discourages search engines from indexing this site. Under discussion, there's a whole bunch of different options in here, and normally you don't need to change any of this stuff too. But you can have here allow people to submit comments on new posts. So if you don't want anyone posting comments on the post, then you can leave that turned off. I believe it's on by default, and I turned that off. But you can get all kinds of stuff here. So you may want to start filtering comments. So you can get a notification by email whenever anyone posts a comment, and a comment if it's being held for moderation. You can also check here before a comment appears that it must be manually approved or the comment author must have a previously approved comment. So if they've written before and they've been approved previously, then it will allow it to appear. So if they are brand new commenting, then it's not going to appear right away, and it's going to be held for you to go and approve it. Otherwise, you can have every comment must be approved manually, no matter what. You can also have comment moderation held in the queue if it's got 2 or more links. Common characteristics of comment spam is a large number of hyperlinks, so you can control how many links it may have to consider that spam. So you can write in here all the different words that you would want it to catch and consider that as spam. Similar with this one to disallow comment keys. So when a comment contains any of these keywords that you would type in here, then it won't allow those comments. The media we looked at previously, and this here is when working with the media, you can control what a thumbnail size would be, what medium size is considered, and what is considered to be large. Also, when it uploads the files in our media, then you can organize the uploads into a month and year based folders, so they'll all be categorized that way. If you don't want it to go like that, you can uncheck that and it will just go into the main folder. Permalinks is something here that normally for a website type of WordPress, you're going to go with the post name. So you'd have the name of your site and then the name of your page. But this is saying post. So we wouldn't want to just have some random numbers. We definitely don't want to have the year as folders or paths to that page because it's not a post. These are the pages. So we want to keep it like that. And then your website's going to look a lot nicer and it's more SEO friendly. There's a privacy section down here that you might want to have a look at, but normally nobody goes into these things or does anything with them. So that's all the sections here, and if we go back up to the dashboard, this may be what you see when you first come in. And really, you're working with your posts if you're doing a blog, or pages to control the pages on your website, and your media to have your photos and documents. Going under the appearance, you have your themes, and you can customize that theme depending on what your theme allows you to customize. And that's it for this tutorial. I hope you did find it helpful. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. Even better, give it a super thanks. And thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.